Just saw a video yesterday of a guy going back into an area here in northern Maine, and I'm not sure, he didn't say where it was, but I'm thinking probably over in the Allagash area, west of where we're at here. And he went in and he showed that some people or person or whoever, leftist wingnuts, I'm sure, crazies, and they burned, it was either 9 or 10 pieces of equipment. I'll put a few pictures up here. And 8 million, I think it was, in damage or something like this. And I mean, these big machines, they're very expensive. And, you know, burning these machines while there's a drought here and you're not supposed to be burning things and whatever else. I mean, real brilliant idea there, real smart thing to do. And I just want to say this, I'm kind of an old-fashioned logger type of a guy myself, as you can see. You know, that was that one-man crosscut saw up there, that was my grandfather's saw. These two crosscut saws here, two-man crosscut saws, they came along with the property, and then you have over there, the two crosscut saw blades there. There's my professional saw down there. That real long bar, there's 42-inch bar, 394 XP Husqvarna. So I did work in the logging industry a little bit, and I think that there's better ways to log than a lot of these big machines and whatever else, and they do a lot of damage to the ground and everything else. So I would disagree with a lot of the logging practices, although I understand that they have to do it because of inflation, time is money, the whole thing. You know, you can't do it this way anymore, that way, and with the axes over here on the wall, it wouldn't be profitable. I get it, I understand that. But even with my disagreements, I would never even consider burning somebody's equipment. And people that I know up here, we have disagreements. We would, I don't agree with that, but burning somebody's livelihood. And I actually heard that the one logging company, they were just a small kind of family company, and they're out of business now because of a bunch of left-wing insane people coming up and burning their equipment because they disagree. Oh, well, how do you know it wasn't right-wing people? Because right-wing people don't burn stuff. Okay, we don't go and, the lessons of history here, okay? Right-wing people don't go into cities when they don't get their way and burn police cars and burn down buildings and things like this. And again, you say, why are you making the video? Because I'm sick and tired of right-wing people covering up for the left-wing and saying, oh, it's all just a distraction and whatever. Well, maybe in the government level, but on the street, there are people that are into left-wing type of stuff, communistic types of things, and they are very dangerous, psychotic people. Well, not all of them. Okay, let's get beyond that. We need to say, okay, the rule of law must be reestablished. There are poisonous philosophies being spread in our universities here in this country, and those have to be made illegal. It's treason. And there needs to be serious punishment for crimes where leftists go and burn things. They could have literally caused massive forest fires. What would we have done? Depending on where the stuff's at, it could have affected my property that I own. That's scary stuff. And I remember it actually brought back some memories for me. I don't remember the year, but I was a young man back in the 80s, maybe early 1990s. Like I said, I don't remember the exact year, but I remember hearing that environmentalist nuts were going up to, an anti-gun, anti-hunter people, were going up to northern Pennsylvania. I was raised in the southern part of Pennsylvania. And they're going up to northern PA, and I had an uncle that had a cabin up there, which I went to a lot as a child, and I loved it there. It was just amazing. It actually developed my love for mountainous type areas. And they were burning cabins. These environmentalist anti-hunter people were burning people's cabins. And I was just so frustrated by that and so upset about that I knew people that had their cabin burned down, and it was horrifying to go through that. Terrorism, you see? Hey, I guess I have I have those chainsaws and all that, those things there to kill trees, even those old bow saws up there. I guess I should be a target for the left wing as well. They should come here and, we have to preserve the earth by burning the earth, Smart, real smart. We have to free people from oppression by oppressing them with burning and whatever. America has some serious problems. And unfortunately, Trump isn't going to do a whole lot about it. He's going to try to maybe do the Insurrection Act, and I've heard some other theories and whatever else, imposing martial law, and that's a very bad precedent to set. But there are other things that could be done. So, and ironically, I guess the forest rangers, I'm going to link the video at the end of this here that you can actually see what I'm talking about, how horrible it is. I mean, this logging equipment just burned out, and there's actually molten aluminum that poured out of the motor areas of these machines. Big blobs of molten aluminum because they were burning so hot. Just insane. But like I said, I'm going to link that video at the end there. But I don't know. It blows my mind how this country has deteriorated so quickly. And I know why. It's because people have turned their backs on the Lord. The Bible was kicked out of schools in the 1960s. And, before the 1960s, I mean, the people, we have to get the Bible away from children or something. Were children all forced to be Christians before the 1960s? No. You study the Bible as literature. There's a lot of good moral stuff in the Bible, in the scriptures. You don't have to make it into some kind of thing of you will be converted, you will be forced to be a Christian or something like that. No, you can study the Bible, read it, be open-minded. These left-wing people are the most closed-minded, narrow-minded, bigoted, just insane people. Driving up into the wilderness area so you can burn equipment of loggers. So, all of us need to have standards. We all need to say, hey, you know what? This stuff is going too far. Oh, I know what it was. Sorry, just trying to remember what it was. The forest rangers actually told the loggers that they're going to need to camp out there, buy their equipment. That's going to work real good in the wintertime. And that they said that make sure you're locked and loaded. And that's ultimately what's going to have to happen. The forest rangers do a good job up here. Game wardens do a pretty good job, although they have the whole DEI thing that they're dealing with. I'm sure forest rangers do too, because of our insane lunatic governor that we have in this state, destroying the state. I actually saw there was a guy on the Sean Ryan show or something from Maine, and he said that the Chinese are actually coming in and growing toxic marijuana in this state. And that Governor Mills here, Janet Mills, her brother, is helping with some of these real estate transactions. What? Oh boy. And I remember being out in front of our ministry office the one time, and I see this Chinese guy walking by. And and I looked at it just kind of, and he turns around just glaring at me, and I thought, nice guy, how you doing? Hi. Well, I don't know if he was maybe a marijuana grower or something like this, but the corruption in this country, you have to fight it. You have to make your voice known. Let people know about this stuff. And this left-wing thing, it has to be stopped. So, I'd like to know people's thoughts on it. But just another example of, oh great, now we have another thing to deal with here. Are we going to all of a sudden have, people attacking my property or something, and nobody should be allowed to live out there in the country areas or something like this? Well, that's kind of a stupid way to look at things, because I take care of my property. And ironically, right, not far from my property is something that is a preserved area of woods, and the trees are all dead and dying and falling down and whatever else because they don't log there. So logging the proper way is actually very good for a forest. We have been logging on our own land, and I can show you the explosive growth that's happening with a lot of the trees. It's very good for a property. Small scale logging is very good. The larger scale stuff, you can, I'm not really into that stuff, but I'm not going to burn people's equipment. But anybody knows anything about who might have done it, I'd love to be able to find out some information like that, because I'd like to report those people to the proper authorities and get them in trouble. We don't need people coming up here and burning somebody's way of making a living. So if you know anything more about it, like I said, leave it in the comments section down below, if you know right where it was or whatever else. But it just, oh man, brought back those memories of when I was young in Pennsylvania, and people, these nuts, leftist nuts, were burning hunting cabins. So what a world we live in. I'll tell you what, the Bible said that in the last times, perilous times shall come, that men would be fierce, despisers of those that are good. And that certainly is happening. So that will be it. Thank you very much for watching.